Hello, everyone, and welcome to the free edition of Change Cockpit. My name is Rolf Tröndle, and this is the February edition. It's the second edition of Change Cockpit free edition. The first one was in January, and this is one workload of Change Cockpit, which is available as free. That's because it's the free edition and it's the Copilot edition, so it's all about Copilot today. The agenda, we have 40 changes for this month. In Change Cockpit, I always announce only the changes for this and the following month. So changes which are being rolled out this and the following month. I don't go further except if they are very important or they are breaking changes, like, for example, when basic authentication was turned off, then I will announce this also at a very earlier date. Grayed out, we see all the other changes which are available in the full Change Cockpit. If you're interested to see this as well, please contact me. Each and every company has the chance to be part of the full Change Cockpit for free at least one time for demonstration purposes and to get some insights there if this fulfills your requirements with change management in Microsoft 365. And last but not least, the next date. And as you can see here, changes announced in Change Cockpit during the last 12 months are always between 80 and 100 changes every month, which are being rolled out in Microsoft 365 only for the current and the next months. That's quite a lot to tell about in all workloads. But let's start, first of all, how are the slides built. We have the title about the change, what is it about. Then on the left side, we see the change details, some more description of the upcoming change. Then as available, if available, a screenshot just to show you what it is about, because it's easier if you can see it. On the upper right, we see the workload. Where are we? As an example, Teams workload, or for today, Copilot. Then more information. If you need more information, you can always contact me by chat or email to rolf@changecockpit.ch. We will see the address at the end of the presentation as well. And here you will find to read yourself roadmap IDs, message center IDs, and or blog articles about or other links to more information about this particular change. And then the expected rollout date in status. This is normally the earliest expected rollout date. Sometimes there will be slight delays. And if there are bigger delays, then it will be re-announced as an update change also inside Change Cockpit. So let's start then with Copilot for Microsoft 365, the workload which is part of this free edition of Change Cockpit. First of all, Word for the web. Summary when sharing. If you share an attachment or a Word document from Word Web and only from Word Web, this is not for Word for Windows or Word for Mac, only if you use the browser edition of Word, then you will get this nice Copilot button in the sharing dialog. And if you click this button, then you will see, or Copilot will insert a summary of the whole document so that the recipient of this sharing invitation can see what this document is about. Then there will be Copilot in OneDrive. I think it's so important that I already put it inside this Change Cockpit. As I mentioned, it's only for this and the next month, but this is in May. So you can expect having Copilot, and there is also in SharePoint or in OneDrive, and there is also some implications regarding service plans, which we'll see later. That's why we also have to announce this change already in this month. So Copilot in OneDrive will make it possible to ask questions about contents and about files in your OneDrive. Copilot will be integrated like it is in Teams chat and in Teams conversations as the side pane, and you can, for example, select this Word document and then enter summarize this file, and Copilot will summarize this Word document for you just inside from OneDrive. That's Copilot, and it works on all these file extensions which are listed here. Fluid and Loop. Fluid is the old extensions for Loop components because this is the Fluid framework. And when they started to roll out Loop components, the files were called .fluid. So just for you to mention, and the .loop is the new extensions for Loop components. Copilot will also be integrated in Viva Goals. So if you have Copilot for Microsoft 365 licenses and Viva Suite and Viva Gold licenses, then you can use Copilot in Viva Goals. Viva Goals is the solutions to set your company goals inside Viva and using OKRs. This is objective and key results, and build the whole goal structure inside your company into the Viva and therefore into Teams. With Copilot integration in Viva, you can use it for create new goals based on proposals. You can upload a document and it will create new goals for you for supplied planning documents. Then summarizing team goals based on the check-ins. If you create OKRs, normally you have to check in on this OKR, sorry for that, OKR, and report how far it is or at the completion rate or the completion status about this particular goal. And you also have tenant admin settings in Viva Goals, so you don't have to roll out Copilot integration for all users at the same time. You can selectively or individual users or groups rolling out this feature to Viva Goals. Then Copilot for M365 and Copilot for Windows. If you have Copilot in Windows already activated, as shown here, then Copilot, and you also have Copilot for Microsoft 365 licenses, this will be integrated together. So you can access Copilot for Microsoft 365 as well directly from the Copilot menu inside Windows Client. And this is especially interesting because the first OEMs, the first computer manufacturers, will now create new keyboards using the Copilot button. This is a new addition. The last edition, I think, was 30 years ago with the Windows button. And now Copilot button is coming to our keyboards as well. And if you combine this integration, it is quite important because then you can access Copilot for Microsoft 365 by using one touch of a button, the new Copilot button. Then next change. Classic Outlook. When Microsoft first introduced or announced Copilot for Microsoft 365, I think it was 1 year ago, then they said there won't be any Copilot integration in Classic Outlook for Windows. But because the new Outlook isn't there where it should be for enterprises to adopt, or at least for many of the enterprises I know, which have some blockers with using the new Outlook client. I'm talking about the Monarch client, which is still lagging or missing some features. So Microsoft decided to introduce Copilot in Microsoft 365 as well to classic Windows Outlook. So you don't have to wait for the new Outlook and to adopt it first before you can use Copilot in Outlook. So to classic Outlook, this was already announced in the last ChangeCockpit pre-edition, the last and first version. This was in January. Summary and coaching by Copilot will be introduced to classic Outlook. And now this month news is Draft with Copilot will also be released in Outlook Classic. So you have all three features, summary, coaching, and Draft with Copilot, which you can use to create or to write draft new emails. And so you have feature parity with the Outlook clients. And this will be rolled out in current channel in March and monthly enterprise channel in April. If you are on semi-annual enterprise channel, then you are not eligible for Copilot anyway. So it's only important for these two channels. Copilot in Teams will also have now multi-turn conversation availability. So till now, we are perhaps if you use ChatGPT, you are used to talk to Copilot and interact with and asking questions about the last answer ChatGPT gave you. So if you tried this in Copilot, it wouldn't make any sense because Copilot didn't know about its earlier answers. Now it will know. You can use multi-turn conversations, follow-up questions to earlier answers, and Copilot will have your context for the last two questions you asked per chat and answers of the last 24 hours. We can see it in the screenshot. If you tell it, summarize what I've missed, you get the summarization, and then please elaborate on the second point in the summary. And now Copilot knows that you are talking about the last answer it gave to you. So this is quite new for the Copilot integration. Then if you have the need to delete your interaction history with Copilot for Microsoft 365, as well as Copilot integrated in Bing, then you can go to your My Account panel and click on the Delete History button and start from scratch again. This is already available. Then if you're admin or if you are an admin, if you assigned a license for Copilot in Microsoft 365 in the admin panel directly to a user, then this user got a welcome email. But this was only available if you assigned it directly from the admin center and not if you are using tools like PowerShell or group-based license assignment, then there was no welcome email so far. This changes now. So the users will get this welcome email as well, no matter what tools you use to assign the license. But, and this is important, for this to work, the Microsoft Communications to User must be enabled. That's a tenant setting you will find under this link. And your users must have activated the Microsoft product emails. By default, it's on. So if the user didn't turn it off, it works. I think for most of the users, it will work. And this is a per user setting inside or in this link in here. Then we have the Copilot dashboard for you. For those of you who watched the last episode of this presentation from January, Copilot dashboard was already announced then into Viva Insights, but only for the web edition. And now Copilot dashboard will also be integrated in Viva Insights app in Teams. There are many additional insights to your Copilot adoption, which will be shown there. As an example, you see the meetings, 42 meetings summarized per user per week. So you see, hey, my users are really using, or how many users are really using the Copilot licenses. So you can get at the maximum value for your Copilot licenses. I mean, you pay around $30 per users per month for one Copilot license, so it would make sense to get most out of it and help your users to be more productive. And using this insight inside this Copilot dashboard, this can help you. But for this to work, you don't need only Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. You also need Viva Insight licenses, which is part of different Viva licenses as well as the Viva Suite. Additionally, Viva Pulse and Viva Glint will soon be also integrated in this dashboard. Viva Pulse is a tool, a platform, another Viva tool which you can use or your managers can use to ask their employees or their team members about a pulse about how they feel, how everything is going. And Viva Glint is for communications managers in companies which want to ask the whole company and not only teams. So these are the different asking tool or the different tools to get feedback from your employees. And this will be also integrated in the dashboard. There will be templates, for example, for Viva Pulse to ask the team members how they are using and how they are feeling with Copilot. So you get also answers from this perspective. Then Copilot will get an UI update. I'm talking now about Copilot integrated in Bing, or the dedicated Copilot app, which you can use or which you can find in Apple Store or Google Play Store. It will have some minor changes, left aligned chat experience. The chat scrolls now from top to bottom instead the other way around. So it's aligned to all the other experiences in Microsoft 365. Simplified visuals and text for cleaner interface. And if you use it with a personal account, then you won't get this protected badge up here, but then you have the suggested prompts in a carousel format. So hopefully you are using Copilot in Bing with signed in with your work account, because then you have the data privacy protection, as we will have another change just in some minutes about this. Then plugin support was in preview and you needed to turn it on in the tenant to use it. Now it will be turned on because it's rolled out in general availability. The plugin support means there are tools or third-party tools are also integrated. We have seen this last month with the Teams, with the Copilot chat in Teams, where you can also let this chat search information in the internet, in the public internet, but you have to turn on this plugin or first on the tenant level. Now you don't have to do this anymore because it will be turned on by default for you, but the user has also to turn it on inside the chat tool in Teams. But anyway, if you have other tools which have Copilot extensibility or third-party tools, then these apps can use search in Copilot now, and this will be activated in the admin center in integrated apps. You will find customized default settings. By default, it will be turned on for all users. And if you have the requirement to turn it on only for specific users, you can do it here or even turn it off if needed. Another admin change, Copilot management. So far, you had one control for search in Bing and Copilot for Microsoft 365 in Bing, Edge, and Windows. These controls were all together on one page or in one control in Admin Center. And after this change rolled out, these controls will be split between search in Bing and Copilot for Microsoft 365. But you won't have the UI anymore to control this. You will need to leverage PowerShell. There will be a PowerShell script available under this link as soon as the feature is rolled out. And if you already have or had Copilot for Microsoft 365 licenses in your tenant when this change was rolled out, then the settings were inherited to the new controls. And if you purchase this license later, then the settings will be in a default state and you can change it if needed with the new PowerShell script. Then there will be new service plans for those of you who manage individual service plans in the licenses. The service plans are all these particular checkboxes. The sub features on a license is called a service plan. And there will be new service plans or a new service plan. Copilot for M365 developer A3 and A5 will get Copilot in SharePoint. And this is the service plan which is needed for the just announced features, Copilot in OneDrive and AI sharing summaries in Word. This was the first change which was announced this month. So to have these two features, you will need to turn on, by default it will be turned on, this new service plan, Copilot in SharePoint. And commercial data protection will get expansion or expanded to new SKUs or new licenses. First of all, what is commercial data protection? If you sign into Bing and use Copilot, and if you're signed in with your work account, with your company account, you have this protected badge. This protected badge means commercial data protection is turned on for you. This means that no matter what you enter or what you use in this conversation with Copilot, it won't be used to learn from this content for the AI foundation behind it. As an example, if you use ChatGPT and you paste in there confidential company data, this information will be used to learn by the system, by the AI system, but not with the commercial data protection. Then your data stays confidential. So whenever you use or you want to use something like ChatGPT, just use the Copilot in Bing using the commercial data protection turned on. Then you are on the safe side. And this will be extended, this data protection, to the educational licenses, A1, A3, A5, and even with Microsoft 365, A1, A3, A5 plus. Currently, it was already rolled out for Microsoft 365 SKUs, and now it will be extended to only Office 365 SKUs, E5, E3, E1, F3, and F1, plus the business apps for business. So if you only use Office licenses, apps for enterprise and apps for business, you can use commercial data protection, Copilot and Bing anyway. And even if you have Business Basic, now you will get this protection as well. Business Standard and Premium was already included. Then last but not least, at the end of every workload in ChangeCockpit, there are either update slides, if there are updates to changes, like, for example, timeline changes for already announced changes. This is not the case today, but there will also be at the end, there are also retirement announcements for particular feature. And we even have one of the first retirement announcement for Copilot. This is for the Copilot Dashboard Power BI app. There was a free dashboard available with Power BI, and this dashboard will now be integrated in Viva Insights, as we have seen some minutes ago, and therefore it will be removed starting February 26. You can't add it anymore in Power BI, and it will continue to work and update the daily fields till March 30, and then it will stop working, and then you have to switch to Copilot dashboard in Viva Insights. So it was for free during preview, and now it will be integrated in Viva Insights. So, and then you need to buy Viva Insights licenses to use this. So this was the last change for this workload Copilot and Copilot Microsoft 365. Normally, I would stop here in the full ChangeCockpit to so you could ask questions, but because this is a recording, I will continue. If you have questions about these changes, just contact me. You will see the email soon, either by Teams chat or by email. Outro, this means the next date, the next edition will be published on March 20. The third one, I will publish all these free editions at the same date as I present the live edition of the full ChangeCockpit. And if you're interested in attending the full ChangeCockpit, please contact me. Every company can at least one time attend for free to get the insights and to see what it is all about. And normally these dates are every third Wednesday of the month from 3 to 5 Swiss time. And next one is, as mentioned, March 20. If you have questions, topic requests, general feedback, just give it or send it to me, please, rolf@changecockpit.ch. And now that the end of this free edition of this month, I hope you could get some new information for you. I hope you learned something. And I would say thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and see you next month.